Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Lewis.
Welcome to the Rangers Journey.
Guys, good evening. How are we doing? Post-match Dundee United game on December the 3rd here. So hope everyone is personally well. Football-wise, I know obviously we're going to be a little bit probably disappointed here. We're going to go through the game and try and keep ourselves calm as much as we possibly can. Scotty, I'll come to you first of all, pal. You doing okay, mate?
Aye, on a personal basis, I'm doing fine, mate. Aye, but footballing wise, yeah.
Could be better. Dino, you all right?
Hell, as I say in my title there, give me a DeLorean to either take me back in time or take me forward in time.
Yeah. And finally, Chris, how are you, pal?
Right, I'm not going to lie, I was fuming from the weekend and I'm still fizzing, and probably even more so after that, because we had chances to win 4 games of football there, and that tells us everything, mate. It's simply not good enough, mate. But I'm good on a personal level, mate, so thank you for asking.
Yeah. I mean, see if you look at it, obviously the international break has probably came at a bad time for us when we start to kind of new managers kind of come in and he's trying to embed what he's trying to do, and half his squad disappears to go away to international break. He loses his 2 centre-halves over the international break as well, which hasn't helped him by all accounts. But as far as football, we obviously as a team, we are quite well renowned for coming back and being quite stuttery and slow on the back of international breaks. But we couldn't have asked for anything better to come back to. We've come back to a game against 2 championship teams at Ibrox as well, in Livingston and Falkirk. And I know obviously they've earned the right to be in the Premier League, and they've obviously done well, particularly Falkirk last season. But truth be told, they've got championship level players. Neither of them have recruited massively over the summer. They are still effectively 2 championship teams. And they went away to Dundee United, who haven't had the world's, a great season by their accounts. And we picked up 4 points out of 9. And we've only scored 3 goals in the entire time. And I don't think any of those goals have came from our strikers, if I'm right in saying that as well. But Scotty, talk me through the Dundee United's first goal. Do you think they were merit? Do you think they were good for their first goal? Do you think it was against the run of play, for the run of play?
I'm at anger just now. I can't even remember it, to be honest with you, Ryan. It's just I can't swear, but it is what it is. Like the beginning to the end, you know what I mean? It's not good enough for defenders. It's certainly not good enough for the team. I'm worried about the shape of this team. I'm worried about that was a Dundee United team tonight that came out and they were up for playing open. We were up for playing open. It was an end-to-end game. And a draw, on reflection, looking over the phases of the match, probably a fair result, but we had enough chances to kill it, Brian.
Yeah. Dino, we're obviously realising that Manny Fernandes isn't blessed with a lot of pace. Why has he found himself so high and so wide in the Dundee United half to basically get himself in more or less a foot race against their striker, who has outdone him for pace and has managed to get in and he's clipped himself? We don't know where the left back is. The left back's AWOL. But, how has he managed to get himself that? How has Fernandes managed to find himself that far out of position to allow Dundee United to get in like that? The guys ran the length of pretty much 2/3 of the length of the park to have a shot at goal against us.
Aye. Magoma obviously attacking, but we had the ball. So you can understand Magoma in the attacking sense. And for that happening with your wing backs, when revert back to it, but when Barisic would get forward, Kamara would sit. You always had a safety net there with somebody sitting, being wise of that. It's almost like we were attacking against an under-12 side, do you know? And then, like you saying, leaving Fernandes exposed, and that just shouldn't be happening at this level. That type of defending, that type of setup, how the Scotty said, shape. That shape is just nonsensical in professional football. Now, to be fair, I do actually think Fernandes is relatively quick. That boy was just rapid, and going into the game knowing that boy was rapid. If I knew he was rapid, then I know nothing about Dundee United. Danny Rule and the team would have watched Dundee United and looked at what their strong points are in their, main attacking threat, and his pace is one of them. So letting Fernandes be in such an exposed position is just absolutely mental. And obviously the boy very, very intelligent run, because the way that he was running, he knew that if Fernandes touched him, he was off. So very, very well done. And the goal, nice wee dink. Can't take that away for anything. But that's all just down to us losing the ball and not being prepared for losing the ball. That's all that was. And again, that's just down to the basics of setting your team up. And that goes back to the manager.
Christian Fernandes had just done the boy. Just take a foul, take a yellow card. Just take a foul, take a yellow card.
He's got to take him out, Ryan, before he gets to the box. Fernandes has got the pace. Let's not kid ourselves here. Fernandes has got pace all day long, right? That guy is rapid, as Dino says, but Fernandes has got the pace as well. He's got to take him out. I'm struggling. I'm trying not to put the blame on Fernandes, but at the same time, it's hard to defend him at the same time, if you know what I mean, because he's playing that high up. Rangers are playing the defence that high up. That was bound to happen at some point in time. And if you think about it, their chance comes from the fact that we are that far up the park. So that's where it came from. I think it's been an unlucky one in that sense, but he's got to take him out. He has to take him out before he gets into the box. Look, the other thing is, the boys, it's a good finish, right? It is a good finish, because he could have smashed it, he could have played it along the box, he could have done, but really, he's got to take him out before he gets into the box, right? I know somebody just put in saying it's a red card if he takes him out. It's not a red card. There's defenders there on the other side of it. It would only be a red card for me if he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper himself, but there's defenders at the other side, so it's not a 100% red card situation. But look, it's where we're at, and the challenge for me on this one, Ryan, is that it shows how bad we are in defensive at the moment, because look, every time Dundee United got to our box, I was terrified. I thought they were going to score every time they were in there, especially the first half. Second half, maybe not as much, but the first half, 100%, I was terrified about what Dundee United were going to do, and it's just an indictment of the defence we've got at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Can I just come back in, Ryan, quickly?
Give me 2 wee seconds. I just want to say thanks to Marty for gifting 5 Rangers Journal memberships, mate. Thanks very much for doing that, Marty. You're always a star for that kind of side of things, mate. Sorry, Dino.
What I was meaning about the red card there was the fact, I think a little bit played in his mind, the fact that he just came into the team and he's getting a game, and getting a red card would put him further down the pecking order in games to come. So I think there was an element of that as to why he didn't do it, and I think it was a quite a fine line if it was going to be a yellow or a red, and I don't think that he wanted to take that risk. That's what I took from it when I watched it back, because any other defender would be wanting to take him out or make a challenge. I just think there'd be an element of that going through his head. If he gets a red, his Rangers career's not exactly taken off, and he's in the team. So I think there might have been an element of that.
I think they're not. I'll come to you in a wee second, Alan. I think the referee wouldn't be justified if he's obviously went touch tight against the boy, which is never advisable against a guy who's absolutely rapid, because if he manages to nick the ball past you and get you into a foot race, so you should never go touch tight with him anyway. So it's poor, probably inexperienced defending for that side of things. But if he just basically holds on to the boy high up in their half when he's 50 odd yards from our goal with defenders covering him, he's never going to get it. It's a standard yellow card. And it's probably, like I said, down to inexperience more than anything else. But he's probably just got to be taken back and shown these things. And it's maybe the dark arts of the game, which he might not have sort of started to learn yet. But for me, he's just got to grab the boy and just stop him moving and going out any further up the park. But without any further ado, Alan, welcome to the show, mate. How are you getting on, pal?
Aye, all right, mate. Aye, sorry, just had a bit of technical issues there with the Wi-Fi, but that's me fine now. Aye.
That's all right, mate. I think if you've got a Rangers badge on, technical issues are all over the place tonight, so
Aye.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Talk me through the opening 20 minutes, Alan. What was your kind of impression of? Obviously, we 1-0 down after about 10. Do you think we started well? What was your kind of thoughts in the first kind of opening quarter?
I thought the first 5 minutes were a wee bit nervy with the I think Dundee United at the kind of opening chance and that, and then we kind of came into it. We got a good break up the park, a bit of pace with Danilo's shot. I thought he could have maybe put his laces through it, but he went for the kind of side foot finish, and I thought that was quite a good bit of play. And then I thought we kind of grew into it. I thought we actually looked as if we were playing with a wee bit of purpose and a bit of intensity that we've not seen in the past few weeks. And then obviously the sucker punch conceding the goal that I just came into there when you guys were talking about it. It's one of the ones. He's just maybe been a wee bit too keen, too close to the boy, and the boy's just spun him, and then he's left in a situation he can't bring him down. I thought maybe Giga could maybe have came across a wee bit quicker and tried to help him, but it's just one of them. It's a good finish for the boy, but I thought we played all right. I thought we were okay. I thought we were knocking it about a wee bit better at times. As I says, we seem to have a wee bit more pace to the game tonight, I thought.
Yeah. I thought there was a wee bit kind of more effort more than anything else, which is shocking that you're actually having to look for effort within the team. But there seemed to, I spoke to Scotty about the lack of urgency within the team at the weekend. We sat beside each other and took the game in at the weekend. We just felt it was very pedestrian. But, there was a certain amount of effort there from, most of the players tonight. There's still a few kind of guilty parties that I think we should be squeezing a little bit more juice out the lemon. But, there's still work to be done. It's, you can be as much effort as you want. I could go out and run about daft in a blue shirt. It doesn't make me a football player. But,
well, that's the bare minimum you should be expecting, isn't it? The minute you pull on the jersey, and it's sad that we're actually looking at that and taking that as a kind of a positive.
Yeah. Scotty, I'll come to you in this one. A wee comment you give from Blue Electro's 80s. Say something when the goals are coming from Makoma. I thought the wee man's goal was great. I thought he'd done really well. He could actually had 2 on the night. He did chance later on in the game. But probably somebody who had a point to prove tonight. Obviously not been picked the last 2 games. He's dropped him out of the team for the last kind of 2 home games. I think the game against Braga and the game against Falkirk at the weekend. He's not started either of them. I elected to play a player out of position actually before starting him. So I was pleased to see him get his goal. How would you rate his kind of overall performance, mate?
I thought Magoma was all right. In terms of him scoring a goal, but it doesn't really surprise me that a goals came for a left back, to be honest, because there's been no goals all over the team all season. In terms of attacking play, I don't want to put a pin in anybody's balloon, but that game was open to anybody to win a night. That game was as open as Christ against playing against Cowdenbeath at him. That's how it was, just man for man. Let's go. Let's see who wins it. Kind of thing. It was as a neutral would have been a good watch. So there's a lot of comments about kind of finally it's good to see he's making attacking chances and all that kind of stuff. But see, to be honest with you, it was if you didn't make chances against the gaps all over Dundee United's defence and they didn't make chances against us, you've seen it. Them getting down our right hand side, we get down their right hand side quite a bit as well. And for a bit of better decision making in the final third, i.e. GD Gassama, and your strikers potentially managing to finish a chance, we would have probably come out of game 2-3-1 tonight, or 4, or Tomo was in a group chat saying at half time will win us 3-4-1. You just couldn't see it because we've not got a clinical edge up front. I'm happy for my goal man and all that, but at the same time he's probably not going to be here come January or the end of the season. So whether he scored tonight in a 2-2 draw, doesn't really make a difference to me, to be honest with you. Right? Who did impress me tonight was Nadine Bayrami. He's took a jersey and he's really, really come onto a game. He's looking to create something. He's actually looking to do something about it. He's acting as if he cares, which is much better than Asgard, as me and you were getting pelters enough at the weekend. The whole thing's just coaching from top to bottom, to be honest with you, mate. It needs ripped apart and started again. The manager subs, I'm assuming we're going to come into all this stuff, but that's more questions asked after that performance for me. There was enough at the weekend to start this narrative that he's not seen certain things, and that narrative just got a wee bit bigger every night because bringing on Elisa Modi Amonde and Max Aarons for Tav. Tav was getting a bit of stick in the comments as well. No offence to anybody in the comments, right? But Tav's the least of our problems just now. He's the absolute least of our problems as far as I'm concerned. Whether he couldn't catch up with their left wing every night or not, I'm not really caring. Gassama was the one stoning it right forward, waiting on the ball to be given to him all night. He was the one that wasn't tracking back, leaving Tav with a 2-on-1 situation all night. So I'm not taking this part of it. It's down to Tav and whatever else. Tav's the least of our problems, man.
Chris, I'll let you come in, mate.
Scotty, I hear what you're saying, isn't that right? In terms of he's the least of our problems, but I think this is the problem we've got as a club at the moment. He's not the least of our problems at all, mate. He's one of many problems that this club has got just now. And he's the same level of problem as what we've got up top with Chermiti. He's the same level of problem that we've got in the middle with Asgard. And he's the same level of problem that we've got with the two centre-backs. Tav was honking tonight. Absolute honking. And I'm one of Tav's biggest fans. But Tav was honking tonight, same as he was honking on Saturday. He's not performing for me at this moment in time. And he was right to get hooked. Same as Raskin was right to get hooked. They're not performing. And I get the substitutions that he made bringing on are even worse. But the players are not performing. They've got to be hooked. And he was hooked rightly so. He should have been brought up before that. The big frustration for me is you look at every free kick, every corner that was taken in that game there from Tav. He doesn't do anything. Now, I'll be honest and say the reason he's probably on it is because when you see half the other ones trying to take a free kick corner, it's just as bad, right? So there's something seriously wrong there, right? But for me, I think it's not just Tav, it's not just, he's one of many problems. And I think the problem we've got is we always revert back to James Tavernier as being the main one. But James Tavernier, for me, right now at this point in time, is the same problem as what we've got in there. But centre-back, same as midfield and same as up front. And something needs to be done about it. If he's not performing and he's at the team, okay, we've not got anybody who can come in and step into it, same way the other positions. But he's not performing, end of. And to be honest, Max Aarons, if you look at what he done when he came on, he'd 12 minutes, 13 minutes, never really had much today. Never really had anything done bad or indifferent. The ones for me is your comment about the other substitutions, they were absolutely terrible, the other ones that come on. And I'm just, my only point for Tav is he's an issue, but he's just as big an issue as everyone else at the moment. And I think that's a sad state of affairs for Rangers that we're having to say that at this moment in time.
I don't think he is as big an issue as paying $8 million for Shamiti, who's missing a gilt-edged opportunity for the 6 year too, Chris.
And we'll come with that, mate.
And I also don't think he's at fault for being left 2-on-1 every time Dundee United get a ball. That's Gassama's fault for being a lazy so-and-so and not tracking back, not working for a team, not working for a club, not working for a badge, which is absolutely full throughout this team.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
there.
Nobody's working hard enough. Nobody is working hard enough in this team. And Tav's getting left at right back now. Don't get it wrong. I'm not Tav's biggest fan. I'm not here to be a big Tav happy clapper and say he's scored 4 goals and he's provided this and he's provided that. Nothing like that, mate. But what I'm saying is he's at least doing worries just now in terms of fixing his team. He needs to stay. He needs to get another year to get this transition until we've got a competent right back that can actually come in and challenge him. And no Max Aarons, who's saying, we can't play in front of Ibrox because we crap ourselves. He's actually says that to media. I don't want Max Aarons anywhere near my team, to be brutally honest, because he's not out to stand up for the club. The players are in else. He's not interested. Just like Gassama, Ant-Man, Asgard, every single one of them. Even Majowski's coming into that in my analysis. So I really don't think Tav's in the same bracket as Jack Butland. He's part of a leadership group you need to try and keep just now for me. But here, it's just my opinion, I suppose.
I think your thing with Tav, Scotty, is that at this moment in time, though, obviously playing behind Gassama's not going to give you any cover. There was an incident, I think it was in the second half, where Tav's basically instructing Gassama, watch this guy, and he basically tries to step out and play an offside trap for whatever reason. He's the only guy that's doing it. Tav then has to track back. But Tav's also having to babysit Giga because Giga's absolutely honking. Anything goes to Giga.
You've got 2 headless chickens in the mid-lay park, but on the covering the right-hand side either, and Barron and Raskin who are doing nothing. So what I'm saying is, Tav isn't the biggest of problems or the same amount of problem as everybody else. He's one of the least problems. He's aging, he's done, he's past it. Aye, granted, but right now, I don't care less about James Tavernier.
Yeah. Dino, I'm going to come to you, mate. I just want to go back to Bajrami. I thought Bajrami was excellent tonight. I thought the last couple of games he's come in, he's made a really big impact. Is he playing himself out the door? Is he obviously there's a World Cup qualifier for Albania coming up? They've got, I think, a semi-final against Poland coming around the corner. Is he playing himself into the team like a new signing for us, or is he playing himself into the window to see himself out the door in January?
In my opinion, definitely the latter. And I think the fact that he's not in the European squad kind of resonates that. And I appreciate that that's not obviously down to Rule, but even since Rule's came in, he's not really fancied him, and he has came in the last couple of games, and he's probably been one of our best attacking players, even though it's a relatively low bar. But I don't think he's fancied by Real, and because if he was, I don't think Real would be playing him out wide left. Because I think we can all every time he's actually been decent coming attack, and he's been central. So unfortunately, I think it's the latter, and he just never really done it for me. I appreciate it's the last couple of games, and that's great, but consistently over the period of time that he's been here, he's never really done it much for me, even when he has played centrally. And I do think that Rule, it seems to me that he's maybe not as stubborn as previous regimes, but he seems relatively stubborn in his team selections and player roles and positions. So if Bajrami was going to be considered a player for the short and long-term future, he would be playing in his preferred position, in my opinion. And he's just out on the left because we're short on numbers. And I think he's just putting a plaster over it at the moment to get us through to January till we get reinforcements in.
Yep. Alan, were you surprised he didn't make any changes at half-time? Do you think he was right just to bring the same 11 back out again? Did you make a change? Did you make the change yourself?
No, I wasn't expecting a change at half time. I was expecting a change earlier than what he did end up doing in the second half. But at half time, I wasn't expecting a change. As Scotty said earlier, there was a lot of that game that was like a basketball match, and it was just back and forth, and the two defences were there for the taking for each team. I thought we better finishing, but no, when it came to the subs and things like that, I wasn't looking for anything really at half time. I thought we were creating probably more chances than what I've seen us create in a good few weeks. So no, I wasn't looking for anything immediate, I must admit.
Brilliant. Chris, talk me through Barron and Raskin. I think Barron started turning into the player that Raskin was. I think Barron's, absolutely knocking his pan in for this football club at this moment in time and playing probably out with his ability, if I'm being honest. I didn't actually ever think Barron was as good as what he's been the last couple of games. The amount of yards that he ran on Sunday in particular that you might not be able to appreciate if you didn't actually get along to the match and actually see it. Conor Barron probably ran about 15 kilometres for us on Sunday, and it wouldn't surprise me if he probably ran about 10 to 12 for us tonight. Again, obviously a smaller park at Tannadice. And Nico Raskin just seems to have went absolutely backwards. And I'm probably now at the stage actually where I'd probably say that I would take Raskin out of the team and just leave Barron in there, because I think that Barron could compensate for taking Raskin out. I don't see what Raskin's offering at this moment in time that Barron wouldn't just be able to compensate for and try to get something a bit more attacking within the park. And I'm probably pointing to somebody like Lyle Cameron, to be honest with you, to get somewhere it's more legs in the middle of the park and guys that want to come in and just get something to prove. Whereas Raskin at this moment in time just seems to be so far off the boil.
Totally agree. Couldn't agree anymore, mate. And I think Ryan Raskin is really lucky to be getting a starting position at this moment in time. As you say, he should be on the bench. There's no reason why he shouldn't be at this moment in time. Lyle Cameron, for me, needs to get a shout now. I'm not going to sit here and say Lyle Cameron's the best player in the world and all that sort of thing, right? But how that boy's not got a chance at the moment, I don't know. Because anytime he has come in for us, he's done the same as Barron. He's worked his backside off, and he's been a player who fights for us at the moment. And at the moment, Raskin's not doing that at all, which is really poor. I don't know what's happened with Raskin. Bronte came back from the whole Russell Martin debacle, and he was a player we thought he was at that point in time, and he had a couple of games, and he's just fell apart since then. Look, Connor Barron for me, I think Connor Barron he's a tremendous player, and he might not be everybody's cup of tea, but what he will give you is 150% on the park every time, and he plays for the shirt every time as well. And I think he's getting let down at the minute by that Rangers side because he's not got enough players around him. And look, I'll say that for a couple of them, there's a few of them in that situation, I think, at the moment, who are getting let down because the players around them are not good enough, simply not good enough. And Connor Barron, for me, 150% all day long. He gives everything. He digs into tackles. Someone mentioned in the comment he looked done in the last few minutes of the game. He did, but to be fair to him, the boys worked his backside off in the last few weeks, and he's a player who really should be number one pick for Rangers at this moment in time. But I would like to see if Diamondi's going to AFCON, Raskin can't be granny or thinking he's guaranteed a position. That's where you've got to then say, right, okay, let's get the likes of Leo Cameron to come in and see what he can do. The challenge you've got, Ryan, at the moment is there's not a lot of players on the bench out with Raskin and who are going to come in and maybe do something. You're not going to get the likes of Asgard in there just now at the moment. You're not going to get the likes of Joe Rothwell in there doing anything. So really, Raskin, for me, I think he knows he's going to be number one pick, but he absolutely shouldn't be, not based on the last few weeks anyway.
Definitely. Just before I come to you guys, just a wee bit of housekeeping there. We've got over 700 people watching this live, which is great. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I wish it was under better circumstances, obviously. But if you wouldn't mind, jump over to YouTube, give us a wee like and subscribe. The Rangers Journal's actually on pretty much every single night of the week, and definitely nights that Rangers are playing with pre- and post-match shows. We do also have a membership subscription, which gets you a wee bit more kind of exclusive in-depth analysis of a lot of scouting, a lot of analysis and stuff like that. And if anyone's lucky enough to be out in the sun at the moment, out in Lanzarote, jump into Kenny's Bar at Bluebells in Porto del Carmen in Lanzarote. The guys will have a good pint for you there. Look after these, and the Rangers game will be on Saturday night against Kilmarnock. Dino, just come to you. There's an opportunity for Rangers to score around about the 60th minute, and the ball came in at the back post. I think it was Kisama just managed to nip in front of the goalkeeper. Bacoma's put it back across, and Danilo's hit the ball from about 4 or 5 yards out. He's had an overhead kick. It's come off a crossbar. If there was ever an example that Rangers need a goal scorer and need a poacher within the box, I think that one incident proved it.
Aye, listen to Durante. He said that Gassama hit it too well. If he just slightly touched it, it was going in. So I couldn't agree more there. And Danilo hitting the crossbar, you're like, it just sums us up to a T, doesn't it? We're very frustrating to watch because we've been just handed mediocre players who are just not good enough. And I was one of these fans that have, give Danilo a chance, give him a chance. It was his fault. He was out with 2 bad injuries and blah blah blah. Different managers, but nah, he's just not at the levels that's needed. And I think somebody touched on Gassama earlier on. He's not at the levels that's needed either. And somebody had said in the comments we're needing 6 starters in January. I think we need 10 starters in January.
I'll come to you, mate. Sorry, Dino.
That's just basically what I'm like on that. That's how much I think that we're needing in January. It's crazy that there's such a high amount of signings that we're needing 6 months after the summer transfer window, but that's where I'm at.
Thanks, mate. Alan, coming to you, mate. I hosted a pod on Monday night, and it was quite in-depth analysis of the squad, current squad, and we kind of looked at how we've managed to get to the situation we're in, and talking about, from 2020, the recruitment, how poor the recruitment's been. And I highlighted Danilo, who Dino's talking about there. And I actually said I think Danilo's actually probably pound for pound one of the worst signings in our history, to be honest. A £6 million signing fee, and he's been handed a 5-year contract, which is alleged to be about 30 grand a week. So you're talking about £7.8 million of wages over a 5-year period. on top of the £6 million transfer fee. Danilo, for me, does absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing in a Rangers jersey. He offers nothing. He's not quick. He doesn't shoot from outside the box. I don't think he's particularly great. I don't think his hold-up play is great. I don't think he's creative enough. For a Brazilian, his first touch is absolutely appalling. And I lost faith in him when we were playing against Alloa earlier in the season and he couldn't handle two Alloa centre-halves. But your own opinion of him, please.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I must admit, he frustrates the life out of me. Watching it again tonight, I know that he's had injuries and things like that, but he is just so powder puff for me. Like, even when it comes to his finishing, there's opportunities where he's got to put laces through it and things like that, and he just doesn't do it. He looks for these wee side foot finishes when they're not on. I don't really. The other week, Rolls playing him out wide. He's got no pace. I don't see what benefit that was to the team at all on that night. The only time where I've actually seen him and thought, do you know what, it looks as if we maybe get something from him, was last season when he had the run with Eagleman, when he was kind of playing in behind him. And I thought for a good few weeks he was starting to look a bit of a player, and then he got injured again. I don't really know what position we would get the best out of Danilo. There's times I look at him and I think, do you know what, if a chance falls to any of our forwards in the box, I would put money on Danilo more than the others. But now, I don't even know if I believe myself in saying that. I find him so frustrating, and tonight was just another one he add to the list. I just don't see what he offers. He's in. I think it's as if they said last year he was third choice striker. Now this year he's the one that's still here, and I mean it's a toss of a coin really which striker we go with now. But I mean you could argue, is he really better than Miovski? Is he really better than, dare I say, Chermiti? I don't know. He's just, he frustrates the life of me, but I really do. And I think I feel as if he's kind of getting shoehorned into the team now, and I don't really know why, to be honest with you.
Scotty, Dundee United scored a second goal. To be fair to the lad, it was pretty well taken, but could Rangers in particular, Nasa Jiga, defended it better?
I would say so. I think losing Cornelius and Suter has pretty much knocked the stuffing out of us since we've come back, to be honest with you, Ryan, because I think Cornelius was making himself a big part of that defence. And he was starting to get a bit of a partnership with Suter, but thankfully international football, we've lost that. But it is what it is. We've got a League One Peterborough centre back and a lone player that looks scared to play in front of fans, if I'm being honest about it. So I'm not surprised, but I do think the need for a six is, Cammy's been going on about it to me and you for how long now, mate. We need Kenny McLean or somebody esque to come in and sit in there and control the play a wee bit, because we've not controlled a football match since Stephen Gerrard was in charge.
But do you think Kenny McLean, considering what Kenny McLean's got to look forward to next summer, is going to come to Ibrox in January?
Aye, because I think he's a part of Steve Clarke's core players, and I think he'll go regardless of whoever wants to come back and play for Scotland or whatever happens. I do genuinely think it would come. And I think a 36-year-old Kenny McLean, a 38-year-old Kenny McLean, he's an improvement, and he's an improvement in Modi Amondi, isn't he? He's going to come in, be a six, just sit there and dictate the tempo of play. There's so many times tonight we had that ball and we lost it. And you just needed a calm head in the middle of the park to spray the passes and just kind of dictate the play a wee bit.
Steve Davis, for example.
Aye,
Exactly.
pretty much, mate.
Yep. I think Marty's going for a man of the match performance here. He's gifted another 5 Rangers channel memberships, guys, so you better grab them before they go. They'll go quickly. Marty, you're a hero, mate. I wish you could play football. You could probably get a game up front for us. But speaking of guys that are playing up front for us, Chris, Bojan Miovski. A lot of people say that. I think I would say I was very excited when we signed Miovski in the summer. I thought that's a decent player. You know, that's somebody who's proven at this level, who has the calibre to score goals and do really well for us. And it's just not worked. Has he scored yet? I think he scored 1 goal for us. And everybody says that our style of play doesn't suit him. But surely as a professional footballer, he's got to adapt his style of play to suit us rather than there. Because you look at the best players in the world and the better players in the world change their game to make it work. Why is he not doing that for us?
Horrible, Ryan. Absolutely horrible is the way I would describe it just now. He's a player, you're right. See when he came in that first game he played against, I think it was Celtic, Ibrox, I looked at how much running he done and how he was putting the pressure on, and you look at him, you thought, this guy could be good for us. And then you see what he done with Aberdeen, and a team who won't create a lot of chances, and you think, so he come to Rangers, going to get chances, he's going to score a barrel load. What I think it does show, Brian, is there's no guarantees with anything in terms of any player you sign, regardless of what they've done before or where they've been. There's absolutely no guarantees, especially when it comes to Rangers, because it takes a certain type of player to play for Rangers, in my opinion, and he's a player that's classic example of that, right? And he's one that is so frustrating tonight. That chance he has in the first half, Bayrami plays the ball in, and I think he's flicked it, the keeper saved it. I don't care what anyone says. Eagleman's on the end of that, Dessler's on the end of that. That's busting the back of the net, right? That was, he's put his foot out and he's touched it, and then the keeper's made the save. It wasn't even a great save, he's just touched it. But you look at that chance from Miovski, you look at the Danilo one that was powder puff just before that, or just after it. Danilo can't, his shot's worse than, I don't know, what, honestly, it's brutal. And then you look at that Chermiti one at the end with the header. 3 strikers all can't take a simple chance, and they were all within the 6-yard box, right? That, for me, is the biggest indictment that Rangers have got at the moment. 3 strikers cannot take a chance. You score those 3 goals, you're winning the game. No problem. No, hands down, no questions asked. Rangers have got big problems at this moment in time, and the fact, see if we were playing well and we were scoring goals, or we weren't playing well, sorry, we were scoring goals, we were winning games 1-0, 2-0. You'd be saying, fair enough, we're scoring goals still, we're still taking it. We are not creating, the strikers are not creating the chances, they're not taking the chances that are there, and that for me is a worry at the moment, because it's a really tough one. The only thing I will, Brian, say, I'll give a wee bit of credit to the players on, they kept going to the very end tonight, right? They kept going, they kept pushing, they kept trying, and look, that one where we get the penalty, that could have went out. They could have gave up on it, and it could go out for a goal kick, right? They kept going, and I'll give them that. I'll give them the credit for that. But my word, we have got a major issue in our hands with these strikers, and I think if Danny Rule wants to be here for a few years, he needs to find a gem in the January transfer window. Now, I look across what's going on in Scottish football. Lawrence Shankland scores for Hearts tonight again, right? We could have got this guy for nothing in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers put a bid in for him in January, 2-3 million, whatever it's going to be, right? And you then look at that and say, how bad a mismanagement is that we could have got that guy in the summer, and you could potentially be looking at putting in a bid for 2-3 million, whether it is that the case or not, right? But for me, that's the type of player Rangers need to go for, because if he's on the end of those chances tonight, every one of those chances are taken, and that's, for me, the biggest issue Rangers have got, is we don't have a striker who can put the ball in the back of it, and we don't even have a young striker coming on the back of it, going to be able to put the ball in the back of it either. That's even worse. That's an even bigger indictment of Rangers at the moment, because we don't have a young player coming through the ranks as a centre forward who can put balls in the back of the net. It's so frustrating, Ryan. It really is, and I think the Rangers fans, they're on the edge at the moment, Ryan. I think a lot of Rangers fans are on the edge at the moment. They really are. Just before you go on to the other guys, can I just put a call out tonight? I said it to the guys in the podcast on the weekend after the Falkirk game, and I said I felt the atmosphere at Ibrox on Sunday was really poor. Same with the atmosphere on the Thursday night. See, tonight at Tannadice, I thought the Rangers fans were absolutely tremendous. Take my hat off to them. They didn't stop all night, kept going all night, and I think it's those type of guys who are going week in, week out, going to places like Tannadice or a Wednesday night, cold Wednesday night. Those are the guys that love our football club and deserve to see a lot more happening, because they're just not getting the performances they should be getting. They're not getting the wins they deserve, put it that way, mate. And it's just so frustrating at the moment. It really is, mate.
I say that often, Chris. The Rangers team doesn't deserve their fans, and I say that quite often. You know, the amount of money that we shell out, myself included in it. You know, I was £1,000 to go to Bruges earlier on in the season.
Yeah,
shocking. There's guys going in buses to get to Bruges. Guys are travelling all over Britain to come and watch Rangers every single week. and half the players can't even be bothered just to apply themselves to their job. So, but we'll be there long after these players are gone. We'll still be there. We'll still be cheering them on.
Right, can I just ask a question? There's a comment that's just been made in response to my Shankland message, right? And very good opinion that the guy's got, and he said Shankland's done, right? Is what he's put in there, right? He said there's young players scoring goals week in, week out. We need to check out. I would love to see who it is that we're talking about here, because I genuinely haven't got a clue who's scoring goals week in, week out, other than the same names that keep popping up time and time again. They're just not with our club at the moment. So I would love to. It's probably a question for another podcast, right? Maybe even tomorrow night on Thursday night's Q&A. But for me, I don't see any reason why Lawrence Shankland should not be a Rangers football player at this moment in time. He's a guy who would put those chances away left, right and centre. And for me, that was probably the biggest mistake Rangers made in the summer, was not signing Lawrence Shankland.
Bizarre, mate. Even the season before, when Clermont, I think Clermont took us pretty much close. We fell away in Ross County and Dundee, and I think Lawrence Shankland, that they were partially quoted a fee of £5 million, which is fine. They're entitled to value their player whatever they think he's worth, right? And Rangers wouldn't pay it, right? But why not pay £5 million for a player that's potentially going to win you the league and get you in the Champions League, which is going to get you £40 million?
Yep.
Do you know, surely that's something that can be done. It's madness.
100%.
But anyway, I'm missing some important comments here, guys. This is phenomenal. CM6D78H. I think that's R2D2's pal. Gifted 20 Rangers, 20 memberships. I'm sorry, getting tongue-tied there. I think he's in competition with Marty tonight, but Marty's flung a fiver in here just to make a comment, and I'm going to come to you on this, Dino. The chance for Charmini, the games, do you think our previous strikers would have scored this? Marty, I think my mod has scored that. And I'm being perfectly honest, I think my mod has stuck that in the back of the net. It was shocking. If so, what did the coaches have to do to help? What do we need to do to turn Charmini into a football player?
He's beyond help. He's beyond help. There's nothing on this planet that can make him a better football player. And going back to what you were saying about the youngsters, not being youngsters on the bench, nobody on this earth could convince me that the centre forward, his name, I forget his name, is worse than Charmini. I'm not buying that at all. He's scoring goals for the B team. What's his name again? Big tall lad. Anyway,
Josh Gentles.
That's the one. There's no way in this earth that he's missing that chance. No way. And the fact that this is an £8 million, our second highest signing, is an absolute hoodie. Now, I was one of Dessers' biggest. I didn't like him, called him a hoodie every other week, but Dessers is scoring that the night. But it's just inexcusable as far as I'm concerned. There's no. It's Scotty, you put in the group chat earlier on, that's his Rangers career finished, and it should be. It should be. If he gets a game again for Rangers, then I think there's going to be more questions raised of Danny Rühl's managerial ability. Because if that's not enough for him to go, like, this guy's got to go in the B team and let's promote Josh Gentles between now and the January transfer window for half a dozen games or whatever it is that we've got to play between now and then. I think that's what has to happen, because he should never be even on the bench for the first team ever again.
Yeah, I'll come at you on this one. Does the strikers need to be the priority in the window in January? Do we need to go out there and sign 2, if not 3 strikers? I'm looking at the goals for chart here. Rangers are sitting joint 6th, 7th in the league just now with goals for. There's 5 teams that have scored more goals than us. Hearts and Celtic obviously top. Motherwell, Hibs, Dundee United have scored more goals than us, and we're sitting equal in 6th, 7th with Falkirk. We scored as many goals as Falkirk this season. Falkirk have just come up, and I said it earlier on, just come up from the Championship, and they've scored just as many goals as us, and we're meant to be calling ourselves the biggest team in Scotland.
Well,
we should never be in the situation where teams like Dundee United, Motherwell, not are outscoring us. We just shouldn't. The amount of money we've paid in that forward line. I mean, what was it? I think somebody said in the group chat or something like that our forward line going into that match today was 15 million. I mean, that's unbelievable. The amount of money that we've spent in the summer, and now going into January, you're looking at having to get another striker. It's a shocking situation to be in. Is it the priority? Yes, but I think you could argue that we need a number 10. I think you could argue that we need a centre half. There's so many priorities in our team now. But we badly need a striker. Going back to like Miovski and stuff, I might be in the minority here tonight. Like, I criticise Miovski a lot since he's came, and I've been majorly disappointed in him. But I thought tonight was actually one of his better performances. Yes, he should have took that chance in the first half. The finish is powder puff. It's pathetic. But I thought his hold-up play, bringing boys into the game and stuff like that, I thought he was a bit better tonight than what we've seen him do. However, he's been a major disappointment since he's came. And as like Chris says, it just shows you that you can't guarantee anything. I thought he would have come in after what he'd done with Aberdeen, and he would have scored goals for fun with us, the amount of chances we'd have created, and we're just not doing it. I would also go and get Shankland. I would definitely go and ask the question whether the ship has sailed now and he'd want to come. I know his allegiances is to our side of the city, but whether he'd want to come, I don't know. But we do badly. We badly need a striker. Badly need a penalty box striker. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of the games we've watched this season, we could have Chris Boyd in the box. We create nothing. We create absolutely nothing. Like our chances, the decision making in the final third is pathetic, and we struggle to create chances. Miovski, if you watch Miovski, he still does a power of running, but he gets absolutely zero chances in a game, and that's not doing it just him not having to make them himself. That's for other areas of the pitch.
Yep. Marty's on fire the night, Scotty. It's another 10 memberships popping in, so big man's going for it. Wants to get his Christmas bonus early this year or something. And so, get out of jail again. We get a penalty in the last minute. Tavernier's not in the park to take it, which obviously raises a few questions to start with. So, you obviously, Bashrami, who we spoke about, had a great game. Capped his performance off by scoring the penalty. But I said before we went live that I wanted to give a wee stat here, and this is an example where we are, right? Rangers have scored 4 times in injury time this season to get draws. Celtic have scored 4 times in injury times to win games. Is that the difference of where we are? We're having to scrape draws in the last minute. They're winning games in the last minute. And ultimately that's why they're probably going to win the league, and that's why we're not.
I would need to agree with that, mate. I would need to agree with that. I think like you can't see in January we can't agree. I know what Dino and everybody else is saying in terms of we need 10 signs. That is what we need, but that's not going to happen in January. January's a 4-week window. We're no Man City. I know we've got money in that behind us now, but I genuinely don't think that that's going to happen. The Lawrence Shankland ship is well and truly sailed. That's gone, right? He's well down the river. He's not coming to play for Rangers. I accepted that in the summer when he signed that new deal at Hearts. I think if Ferguson had get a manager's job, he would have signed. But we as a club have failed on that aspect. So I think we just need to be failed in a lot of aspects when it comes to signing open goals. 2 seconds.
Sorry, I've dealt with it already, mate.
Banned them at the same time. So I think you can make a difference in January with the likes of Gogic coming out at centre half. It's an immediate upgrade on Giga. It brings appetite and leadership at the back. You bring Kenny McLean in. That's some leadership in the 6 role. Also in terms of how we're going to dictate a play and control a midfield. And then up front, your answer would be Shankland to come in and put the ball in the back of the net. We need a winger that's not going to be greedy. Bayrami is here and he's Celestia execution now because of 2 semi. Tonight it was brilliant. Sunday I thought he was semi-decent. Moments player. see in terms of a Scottish core, but Ryan, it's interesting, but like, who actually comes in and like makes a difference that's Scottish, right? Like how can
There's three names there.
how can I get the sentiment behind it, but he's injured. He's injured just now again. And his appearances for Hearts and his injuries probably isn't worth going and paying a fee. Lyndon Dykes was linked with Hibs in the summer. I think he scored a total of 3 goals for Birmingham all season. Is he answer? Probably not.
He's not been in the team though. In fairness to him, he's in the team up.
100%. And he does offer more than any current striker we've got, right? I struggle to see where in the league we can go and kind of pluck these players' faith, if I'm being honest. I think there's 2 or 3, but I don't think there's many more than that. It's not like back in the days of Walter Smith where you could go out and get, say, Big Jiggin, Whittaker, Kevin Thompson, Chris Boyd. That quality's just not in the league anymore. And that's just the way it is.
Look at this here. Who's the boy that's scoring the goals for Motherwell? Swansea. The idea. There's another boy that's...
You could potentially go and get him, but he's another one. Myofsky scored how many goals for Aberdeen over 2 or 3 seasons, and we can't get him firing. Motherwell play a completely different style of play with us. Motherwell play with Bonnie Deck and they create loads and loads of chances because everybody else comes out and plays against Motherwell. We don't get teams coming out and playing against us. It's not the way your league. So we've struggled to create chances apart from tonight for the strikers that we've got. Gordon's just come in with Kieran Bowyer, but Hibs are going to want 5+ for him. Easily 5+ add-ons. Simon Murray for Dundee, he's not kicked his own arse this season. He's barely getting off the bench. So what I'm saying is, in terms of, we've all got that comfort blanket that we need to go out and sign more kind of homegrown talent, but I don't think there is a big nest of homegrown talent to go out with just now. Even the ones we've got, we're barely playing them. Cameron and Curtis, as Curry's just said in the comments. They're not kicking, they're not playing again. Curtis would have played better than Gassama tonight. I can tell you that for a fact. Curtis would have been more effective out wide tonight. And Gassama would have been, Lyle Cameron would have done a better shift in midfield than Raskin. But we're bringing on at least a Mo Diamande. How many times does Mo Diamande need to fail in a Rangers shirt before we stop playing him? The guy's coaching.
He's appalling. Absolutely appalling.
He's consistently inconsistent.
He's
one
appalling.
Decent game every 10 matches isn't good enough to pull on a Rangers jersey. So the league's gone, right? Any hope we had with that 4 unbeaten run, they're 9 points clear now. They've got this new manager coming in. It's done. Right? It's away as far as I'm concerned. Hearts are potentially going to pip us to second if they can get their act together. That's where we're at just now as a club. Gordon's just come in. Lewis Ferguson, Lennon Miller, Josh Doyd. I saw good talent that we've missed as a club because there's been a snobbery for a long time, but the only players that I can really see coming in that make an immediate difference to this team and the squad is like Gogic and Kenny Miller. And the low fee, the low risk for the age of them, and they're going to come in and fix things short term, I would say. They're going to be better about the building. We've not even replaced Big Leon Balogun, Ryan, and there's a lot in the comments tonight saying they would bring Balogun back because he was probably still be our best defender. That's how bad we are. Can you imagine Big Leon next to Big Fernandez? Fernandez would be a lot more settled than what he is at the minute. Because he's a basket case. They're all basket cases, everyone. And it's just a struggle to see where we go to fix this in January, apart from you need a couple of smart additions as well as a bit of luck in terms of players that can come in and make an impact, because our track record of doing this is not great. I watched a clip earlier on, Ryan. I think it was Seema scored 2 at Ibrox and Cantwell assisted 2. Can't remember who it was. It might have been St Mirren or something. And I watched it and I was like, Christ, I would do in for Todd Cantwell back. And I do not like Todd Cantwell in the slightest. But he offered stuff that our midfield doesn't offer to us now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm pining back for like a Cyril Dessers because he would have finished them chances tonight. He's a proven goal scorer. And I did not like Cyril Dessers in the slightest. I was not a fan. I'm still not. But in terms of what I've got just now, Christ, I would take him.
Yep. Chris, are you with Scotty on that? Are we out the race? Is it just
100%.
inevitable now that it's just a case of planning for next season?
100%, mate. And Scotty's spot on. What any hope we had, Ryan, is done, right? And it's done because there's too many games between now and January where we could falter, and we're not going to make anything back up, right? Dude, I get what Scotty's saying. They've got a new manager coming in. Look, that's another pod for another day. I think that can go one of two ways, right? I'll be honest with you. That can go a way of helping them, or it could go a way of actually hindering them based on what's happened. So I wouldn't say that they're going to run away with it, right? But what I would say is we're not good enough to to stand on anything that they're going to falter with, right? We've got to go to Tynecastle this month. We're not going to go to Tynecastle and beat Hearts at this moment in time. Not with the players we've got. I know Scotty's saying with Diamondi and stuff, but I'd rather have Diamondi on my team just now than not have him there, right? He's not going to be there when we go to Tynecastle this month as well. We've got Rugby Park to go to on Saturday night, which you know that's get written all over it because of the pitch and because of the situation. Dino's nearly taking a fit there, I think, because he knows exactly what I'm saying on it. So there is absolutely no way Rangers are going to be able to take on anything that gets dropped elsewhere, whether it's at Tynecastle or whether it's at Celtic Park. Right? It's not going to happen. And when you've got players like Chermiti, who this is how bad it is. He had 2 touches tonight, Ryan Chermiti, right? His first touch was a header back in to the Dundee United half, where the player then runs up the park and gets a corner from it, who was their sub had just come on. And his second touch was the header he's put past the post. He hasn't touched the ball in another point in time in that 15 minutes he's on. That's how bad that was. And that's where the Rangers fans, I know we're laughing at it just now, but you're looking at that and you're saying to yourself, how bad does it need to get? And my other issue I've got here, Ryan, at this moment in time is I'm trying not to put anything on Danny Rule here, because Danny Rule is trying to play with the best that he's got, or he's trying to figure out the best that he's got. But for me, he needs to change this up. He can't go away like such a Miovski. Somebody said in the comments, I don't know who it was, but somebody said in the comments, play Curtis as your number 9. If you're going to play 2 wingers, play Curtis as your number 9 and give the boy the chance up front, because he can play up there. He's done it in the reserves. He's done it for the under 18s, and he's scored goals up there. So give Curtis the chance, put him through as the number 9. Let him start on Saturday against Kilmarnock, or wait till we play at home. But the simple fact is there is absolutely no way that Rangers are going to be able to capitalise on anything that gets dropped from Tynecastle or Celtic Park with the front 3 that we've got, or with these strikers we've got. It's not going to happen. And it's sad to say that all we've got right now to play for is the Scottish Cup. And would you take, probably a question for tomorrow night as the podcast, would you take winning the Scottish Cup but not finishing second? Is probably the question you would need to ask. Because I don't think Rangers will finish second, not at this rate at this moment in time.
Yeah. Dino, just before I come to you, mate, I want to say thanks to Colin. He's donated 10 memberships and I missed it there. And it's just disappeared off the screen. So Colin, cheers for that, Paul. Appreciate it. And like we were talking about Mark, you better watch what you're doing with your money, mate. Your missus is going to go mental. A wee £5 there. He's talking about the Etsy link there. So if anyone's looking for a wee Christmas gift idea, we've actually got an Etsy shop open now. You can go in there and grab yourself a hoodie. There's t-shirts in there. Dino, are you fearing the worst for Saturday? I know I am. I actually looked at the fixture list after the Falkirk game, and I think we'll be lucky to take away 6 points in all competitions. Looking at the fixture list we've got, are you fearing the worst yourself?
Aye, that was kind of my reaction to it when Chris mentioned it. For reasons that we all know, Rugby Park's kind of not been our favourite ground to go to, especially in the winter time on that plastic pitch. We don't have a great track record, and given that we've the stat that you mentioned earlier on, that we've drawn 4 times in 90 minutes, after 90 minutes, this season, just kind of makes me think that's going to be a similar scenario come Saturday evening. And it's quite pathetic that that's how I'm thinking, and I can imagine it's actually quite a pathetic thought that's synonymous throughout the Rangers support, that we are that bad a team that we genuinely don't think that we're going to go to Rugby Park and get 3 points. And I mean, if if we get, so did you see there that you reckon that we'll get 6 points between now and January? Is that what you reckoned?
I looked at the fixture list basically for the games that we've got, and including there's a Europa League game of obviously Ferencvaros. And I feel sorry for the boys that are about to go to Ferencvaros next week, and girls sorry that are about to go to Ferencvaros next week, because that could be a right bad night for us. But I will get Kelly, Ferencvaros, we're home to Hibs, away to Hearts, home to Motherwell, home to St Mirren. And I reckon, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if Hibs came to Ibrox and beat us. It wouldn't surprise me if we lost on Saturday. Don't think we're going to see anything at Tynecastle. Motherwell on the 27th and St Mirren on the 30th. And that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking. That's how bad a state of affairs are. Alan, I'll come to you quickly, mate. Just we're getting ready to finish up soon. We've hit the hours mark, guys. Before I go to Alan, it's over 1,000 people watching tonight. Like I said earlier, I wish you were here under better circumstances, but there's 900 actually watching on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. If you wouldn't mind, find yourselves over at YouTube, the Rangers Journal, hit the subscribe button, hit the wee bell. You'll get a notification every time we go live. You won't be disappointed. It's all free of charge, of course. Jump over there and give us a wee like and subscribe, please, guys, and tell your friends and family as well. Alan, 8 o'clock on a Saturday night for a kick-off, is that for you, mate? I think that's pretty poor on the fans, if you ask me.
Aye. I'm just surprised it's not away Aberdeen or something. The usual with the SPL fixture computer, that's what we would usually get hit with that kind of kick-off. So at least maybe for the team it's no far travel, but aye, the fans, it's a shocking time for a kick-off, it really is. But I do echo your points about the game. I'm no confident going any Saturday at all. I'm really no. It's a damning indictment now that anytime you're watching Rangers, you're hoping for the best, but feeling the worst. I think it's grim. I think it's a nightmare to kick off, and I don't know when Celtic and Hearts play this weekend. Do they play before us on the Saturday or what? So we could be even further behind again come Saturday, and it's absolutely grim. It really is. It's pathetic.
We'll just get laughed at. The whole of Scottish football is literally laughing at us. Everyone's going to be tuning in on Saturday night to watch us and hoping we get beat. And everyone's just, we're the comedy show, and everyone's having a laugh at our expense. But we're into injury time now, Scotty. That is where it hurts, mate.
I'm just sitting there. Mitch has put his ratings in a chart. And he's put Shamita 1.5. Can somebody send him to see a careers advisor? I've been sitting there laughing at it for the last 10 minutes. Superb part. No, there's not really much else to say, to be honest with you, mate. I kind of got it all off my chest in terms of where we're at and what we need and how we fix it. I just hope the manager starts to show a wee bit more in terms of what he's trying to do. Because right now there's the odd wee question beginning to creep up, I need to say. But thanks to everybody for tuning in. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Yep. Just before we head, any question marks over the manager? Do you think he's walking with the legs he's given, to put it nicely?
Yeah, I think somebody commented after my last comment to say, can I put this on the manager? I'm not putting this on the manager at all, Ryan. I'm really not. The only thing I would say to Scotty's point there as well is, if he continues, he said in his last game against Falkirk there, some players will not get the chances, right? And he comes out again and it's the same players who've got the chances again tonight. Now that tells me either Curtis and Cameron must be rank rotten in training, or something else is going on, right? Now, we don't know, we're not behind the scenes, we don't know what the situation is, but the manager really needs to be really careful, because there will come a point in time where the focus will shift from the players to the manager, like it naturally does after the players put in 3, 4, 5 good performances. Then naturally it will shift over. And if he continues to not play Curtis and Cameron, they're just going to get better in the eyes of the fans, and the manager's then going to take the hit for it. So he needs to be really, really careful, I think. Look, can I just say though as well, Ryan? Apologies to the guys on here. Apologies to anyone watching. I always try and come on here and be as positive as I can be, but Saturday and tonight has just changed it for me, and the positivity is wearing thin. It really is. It's really going thin, and I try to be as positive as I can. I try to come on here and give a really good account of how Rangers are, But tonight I can't do that. I really couldn't, not because of how bad some of the players were tonight, and it's a real frustration. But I just want to put the apologies out there to the viewers watching, because always try and get a balance view, and I don't think I've done that tonight. So apologies if anyone's offended with anything I've said.
Mate, to be honest with you, you're just honest, and you're just saying it the way that we all see it. You can't polish turds, and that's the truth of it. And we're sitting there, and there's 11 turds on the park representing our football club, and maybe that's a wee bit harsh to some of them. But if people jump onto the pod that we did on Monday and look at the team, we were talking that basically the 11 that we went to, where we look at tonight, that's came from a team of McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic, Aribo, Jack, Kamara, Kent, Hadji, Morelos. That team would beat this team 5-0.
Yep.
Absolutely scud. But Dino, final thoughts, pal, please? Over the hour, mate. Scotty's looking at his watch.
It was just actually something I want to get off my chest as well. Again, all the fans and what you mentioned about going to Ferencváros and whatnot. Like, fair play to all that go, and I genuinely pity you all that spend your hard-earned money going and watching that, because there's zero return on investment. And I'm the kind of person I'm actually, vexed that I'm wasting my electricity on watching them. You're spending hundreds of pounds. So, genuinely hat off to you guys that are going all the way up to Dundee United and watching that. And thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been good to chat with you all. But let's just, as I said in my title, give me a DeLorean, because I generally actually either want to go back in time or fast forward to the 1st of January with the hope that we're going to be getting some signings in that's going to improve this team. But thanks very much, and we'll see you all soon.
Alan, take us home, mate.
Christ. No, just to really echo what Chris was saying and all. I don't think anyone is questioning Danny Rule yet or anything, but all I would say is his substitutions at the weekend were strange. His substitutions tonight were strange. If he's going to continue to rely on the likes of Chamiti, Asgard, Diamonde, Aarons, then he's making a rod for his own back. Thilwell and Stewart aren't here to kind of take the flack anymore, and if he's going to kind of persist with them, then he's going to make it difficult for himself. Nobody is looking at boys like Finlay Curtis and Cameron Hinton. They're the answer. They're going to come in and play, and everything's all of a sudden is going to be all right. But I think there's a hell of a lot of Rangers fans that would rather see these young boys given the chance, get behind them, and let's see what they've got, because these guys aren't doing it. And Curtis might not be a striker, but I would be going with him on Saturday and giving the boy a chance, because what else can we do? The ones up front aren't doing it, and it's about time we see it and see these boys given a chance, and let's hope for the best.
At this moment in time, we've got nothing to lose, mate. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
But guys, listen, thanks for everyone for tuning in tonight. I'd like to say it's been a pleasure, but maybe one of these days we'll come on, we'll have a smile on our face, and we'll be talking about good things in there. It probably, truth be told, if we were coming on talking about good things, none of you would be watching this, so you could probably be sitting back, enjoying yourself and relaxing. So appreciate this as a wee bit of a therapy session for everybody. Like and subscribe, please, on YouTube. Follow us every time, and as always, every night will be a Rangers Tour night. Take care.